I'll make sure I'm far away. Okay, so basically, like the 40-day challenge, it comes with this book. And so like if you open up in the book and you go to, so you'll have your laws of transformation. And so that's kind of what we're going through every week. And if you notice on your schedule in your folder, where it has the week 1, and then so it has your yoga practice, your diet, meditation, and then presence is like the first week. And so it's just kind of like focusing on being present, like where are you focusing your time, and then when you are somewhere, are you being present? Like are you actually there, or are you in 12 other places, right? So because most of the time when we're doing something, or we're not really there. Half the time we're somewhere else going, oh, I got to do this and this and this, and you know we're not really present in that moment. You know, like a lot of times when we drive to work or drive somewhere, we don't even know how we got there. We don't remember how we got there, and it's, you know, so it's just trying to get you to understand what being present means and why it's so important. And so just a lot of this is just kind of helping you to notice what you're doing with your time, what you're doing with your mind, and are you being mindful when you do stuff? Are you somewhere else when you're doing stuff? Are you half in and half out? You know, and so every day, the first week we start with 5 minutes of meditation. So if you're doing it in the studio, after class we'll stay for an extra 5 minutes after Shavasana, and we'll just sit up and meditate for 5 minutes. And then if you're doing it online, same thing after class, you'll still do the meditation part, but you want to try to get the meditation part like as much as possible. So most of this is just trying to get you to understand where you're putting your time and where you're focusing your importance on. And like as far as the like breakfast, lunch, snack, this stuff was all created before, you know, if you've been coming to my classes, you know that intermittent fasting is something that I always recommend. And so if you want to follow the way that they do the diet in here, awesome. But I prefer most people to eat between 12 and 8 p.m. at the latest. If you go to bed early, if you're not a night owl like I am, try to go, you know, then switch it to maybe 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. so you only eat in that window. And just by doing that little bit right there will help with your nervous system. It will help with your insulin levels. It will help with your adrenals, your hormone balance, all that stuff. So just by switching your eating time. So and then anything other than water or tea or coffee will break your fast. So just make sure you're mindful, because a lot of times people will, oh, well, I'm not eating, but then they'll go get a coffee with like 12 creamers, or you know, like me, or you know, or have a glass of wine, and that's still breaking your fast. And so that's the hardest part about doing intermittent fasting is just remembering not to eat those calories afterwards. And then so the second week goes into vitality, and so the first week is like trying to figure out that you're present, you know, if you're present, and just kind of learning about what that means. And then the second week is vitality, and so this is kind of digging up the trenches. So this is going to be this is probably the hardest week of the 40-day challenge, and it's week 2, and it's just kind of the practice gets a little bit harder. The meditation goes to 10 minutes, but it's more about just digging out that inner voice inside of you, that inner being that is drowned out with everything, and showing yourself and your mind, your body, that you are more powerful than you give yourself credit for, and you can do a lot more than you think you were ever capable of doing. And so a lot of times we just don't challenge ourselves enough to know how awesome we really are. And so that week really pulls that out of you, and it kind of just it's a challenging week, but it's a really empowering week. So it really, really helps empower you and makes you just better all around. And then the third week is equanimity. And so, and that one's just kind of, you know, just like balancing everything out, like taking a little bit of everything that we're learning and trying to put it into our lives, trying to, you know, come up with different ways that we can do things better. So if you, and this is the book, so we'll have these whenever, next week, whenever the challenge starts. So I'm just gonna talk about the rules real quick. And each day, so you'll read a chapter, I think it's like each week, you'll read the first 2 laws. So in the week 1, it will be like presence. And so you read those first 2 chapters, and then you read the week 1 chapter. So like in a whole week, it's like just a chapter. And so the laws of transformation are, so the presence, it's coming into your body. Week 2 is fan the purifying flame, vitality. And then week 3, be the eye of the hurricane, equanimity. And then week 4 is receive the radiance, and which is restoration. So we're going into week 4, which is restoration. And then week 5 is invite the light, and the theme is triumph. And then inside of each one of those, you have 2 laws of transformation. So, like, law 1 is like seek the truth. And so you'll read law 1 and law 2 in the first week. And it should have that in there, but if it doesn't, I will definitely keep you guys up to date with that. And then law 2 is being willing to come apart. And so, a lot of times we don't know what's affecting us. You know, we feel something's wrong, we feel something is not quite right, but we don't really know what it is, and we just kind of keep going through our days as if, you know, like we're supposed to, but we're not really knowing or feeling present. And so being willing to kind of to connect and to find out what is kind of holding us back. And then law 3 is to step out of your comfort zone, which everybody knows how much I love. And then law 4 is commit to growth. Are you missing anything? That one is just if you guys want that. Some people like to keep up with their measurements and all that stuff. I always tell people if you look better naked and your clothes look better on you, then that's your measurements. But some people like to keep up with their measurements. Do what? What'd you say? What? What are y'all looking for?
No, just making sure she had all her fingers.
Oh. And then law 5 is shift your vision. And then law 6 is drop what you know. And then law 7 is relax with what is. Law 8 is remove the rocks. And then law 9 is don't rush the process. Law 10 is be true to yourself. Law 11 is be still and know. And then law 12 is understand that the whole is the goal. Ooh. We could go that in so many directions. No. But then also in the book, it has your weeks in here. So like the first week, which is presence, the second week is vitality. So it has those in, so everything's sectioned off in the book. And so it's not a ton of reading, because I know I'm not very good at reading. I'm horrible, but I was able to keep up with the reading because it's not a whole lot. And then if you can't practice or you can't practice online, there's also practices in the book that tell you what practices to do, and they're also kind of telling you what those postures are for, like what they're benefiting and stuff like that. So if you're kind of interested in more of the what organs and what things that each posture is benefiting, it kind of tells you a little bit about that in there as well. And then it goes through different things about like what kind of foods, like you have your cool foods and you have your warm foods and you have your nightshades, and that's very like Ayurvedic. So it kind of explains what that means and how to find what your type of food is and what foods to kind of stay away from during the challenge and stuff like that. And then we also go into like a 3-day not a juice cleanse. It's a fruit cleanse, but I would prefer that we do a juice cleanse versus a fruit cleanse, just because there's so much sugar in all the juice and all the fruit. Yeah, you know you love the juice, but you can always just do the fruit cleanse and just eat the fruit for 3 days, you know, whatever you want to do. But I just don't like all that sugar. So, but and we will be doing juicing classes. I'll probably do a juicing class after next week's meeting. And so if anybody wants to stay for that and try the juices or whatever, and then so yeah, it just yeah.
She baptized me with fire. Oh my God.
She's like, oh my God,
She's killing me. Oh my
She
God.
was like trying to hit, I'm like, that's horrible.
it is not horrible.
Yeah, I better dirt water.
Well, it's like, okay, do you want to live your life and have a healthy life and feel good, or just I mean, you're just drinking something. It's not like it's like killing you. It's not that bad.
No, I just got right here on camera.
It's not that bad. It helps clean you out, which is what we're looking for. The hole is the goal. But yeah, does anybody have any questions, or it's just kind of like touching base and just?
I do.
Okay.
When you're, okay, if I can't, are you doing it at a set time each day? Are you doing the online, or if you can't do it at that very time, is it where we can link in later and see it?
Yeah, so we'll be doing the class schedule, the same class schedule that we had last week. So it's like, I think we're going to do 9:30 in the morning and then 6:30 at night. And so it's just going to be at the 2 different locations for now until the ranch opens back up.
So
But
9:30 and 6:30 every day?
yes. So except I think on Friday I have it 9:30 and 4:30 on Fridays. But
And those classes will be online too.
yeah, and those classes will be
Live.
filmed live. Yeah, and then so if you can't make it during those times to class or online, you can still log in and do the class and the way that I have the group set up, and not that I need to, because this is like the only person you're cheating is yourself. If you say that you did the practice, you're just cheating yourself.
Yeah.
So it's more about you recognizing where you're putting your time, where you're spending your your attention, and just kind of being more aware of what you're doing and trying to because it's like a 40-day challenge, and it's like can you do that, can you
Yeah. Well, it's not that I will challenge myself to
Oh,
do
I
it.
know you will.
I'm not going to cheat, but I may not be
I
able
know
to do
you
it
will.
at 9:30 because of my mom.
Yes, yeah. And so you can always do it, do the online ones, and then you click on there that you're done. Like when you did the practice, each person has a done button underneath, and so you click that you're done. And so if you didn't make it to class, or whatever, but you can still, because there are people just doing it online. And then Zenden is doing like a remote, like a studio. We're doing their 40-day challenge for them over there as well. And so their people will be logged in. And so there'll be a lot of different groups, and I might like connect certain people that maybe can't make it to class all the time, but maybe they can commit to each other online, or they can show up at each other's house and try to do it together. So there's a lot of different ways that we can try to still keep everybody accountable. Like I said, I know I need accountability.
Okay, is any of it going to be sling?
Some of it will be sling, but I'll have a floor practice every day. So for anybody who doesn't have a sling in their house, or but yeah, there'll be a floor practice every day. And plus, I'll have a bunch of my other floor practices in there, and same thing, you can click done on the challenge and everything like that. And so it's just kind of like your sticker chart. So here we'll have the sticker chart in the studio like we do. And so everybody's name will go on there, and then when you come to class and you do your class, you put your sticker on the sticker chart. It is what grown people do, to put a sticker on a sticker chart.
We're gonna try that thing around.
Do what?
We're gonna try it out before.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have one probably at both studios, and I have the board here to make it today, and trying to get everybody who's signing up. What are you doing?
Hello.
I know, I'm like, ah! And she's like, the hole is the goal. Can't take y'all anywhere. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, so it's just kind of recognizing, and everything that we're doing, like all the meetings, the same thing will be all online as well. And so we'll just be recording the meetings, just like you're here. And it will be live, and we'll be answering questions for anybody online and stuff like that. So, because we know, like, especially with how everything's still going, like, it's hard for people to get out, or it's hard for people to be around people, or because they're taking care of people, or not able to make it at all the times. And so, but we still want everybody to still feel connected and part of it and all that stuff. So, yeah. You guys have any questions on that?
Well, I know I'm probably one that needs to go, but just in general, I noticed it said eat fat, get thin. Is this basically a keto thing, or what?
So that one, that is
What
just,
are they promoting?
and actually,
in the diet.
so the diet just tells you what certain things you should stay away from based on, like based on if you're like Pitta Vata Kapha, which is kind of like Ayurvedic, or in your bodybuilding, they have, what is it, mesomorph, yeah, and so it's just kind of eating based on your body type. The Eat Fat Get Thin is one of the required readings for my teacher training, but just because he's trying to get people to understand like that what we think is healthy is not, and what we've been told is wrong, and just kind of being more forthcoming about stuff, like, because even like a lot of people try not to eat meat, and I did vegan for like 2 years and stuff like that, and vegan is more like a way of life, or like a religion more than like how to eat or whatever. But it's you want to eat healthy, and so a lot of people who, like, my daughter was like, "Mom, look, I'm eating vegan," and she was telling me, and I said, "Well, but what are you eating? Those things are still loaded with preservatives and all that stuff." It's like, so and you can turn into a carbivore, instead of. And so it's like, so just making sure that if you are gonna, try to eat vegan or vegetarian, that you know how to do that correctly, and that you're not just trading one out for something even worse. And so, and then this, because a lot of people want to know how their measurements are doing and stuff like that. I do, next week I'll do everybody's before and after, and I'll do their body measurement, which is like their body fat. And so, because body fat is more important than how much you weigh and all that stuff. And so I'll do everybody's body fat measurements next week, and their before and afters. And that's just if they want it. Some people don't care, because it does transform your body. I mean, I got super ripped last time we did it. But it's more about just recognizing where you're putting importance, just kind of what you're doing. And so that's just kind of an additional thing. If you guys wanted it, I had some extra ones, so I threw them in there. But there was one that I don't think I didn't get printed, but it's a toxicology. So because we can not feel good sometimes just because we're toxic. And sometimes it could be our thoughts that are making us toxic. It could be it could be what we're eating. It could be what we're breathing. It could be a lot of different things. Environmental.
That special person.
Yeah, it could be the person that we spend most of our time with. And so it's a quiz about just kind of how toxic are you. And so I will make sure everybody has that one for next week, and that just kind of helps you to see. Just again, like, because if we're toxic, it doesn't matter how healthy we are. If we've got a lot of stuff internally going on, we're still going to feel lethargic. We're still going to feel depressed. We're still going to have a lot of different things. And so just a lot of this is just kind of uncovering some of the things that are going on in your life, and then just helping you address them in a friendly environment with everybody who's going through the same thing that you are, and just and accountability, and then just community, just everybody being here for you. And we know, like, everybody in the classes are so awesome. Like, everybody's just so encouraging and wonderful, and helps everyone. And they always help. She was helping people not die today, so she got out of her swing and helped people.
I'm going to try to be there as much as I can. But
Yeah.
a little
Yeah, I'm just excited to have you back in class, because it's been I know. So that's awesome. You were coming all the time. So proud of you, though. You're awesome.
yeah, we do what we have to do.
Yes.
If we are doing the measuring, do we need to do each week, or is it, because it goes with 1, 2, 3 and then transition? Is there 4? Is transition week 6?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and you'll have a plateau week in there, because a lot of times we'll plateau, you know, when we're doing really, really good, and so that kind of helps you notice when your week of plateau is. So it's good if you want to keep up with it, but I don't want to focus too much on the outside, because we're trying to focus a lot on the inside too. Because if we can address the inside, the outside stuff just works itself out, you know, and so if we can get all this, you know, and not have all the stories and all the crap that we're holding on to, then the outside just kind of follows suit. So it's awesome how it works. Oh, I know you better get back to your mom, but I haven't done anything. No, I'm just glad you're here.
Call me about it properly.
Okay, I will. I know I'm missing you, boy. She's the one that's got copper.
Oh, you got her?
She has copper, yes.
I'm afraid she thinks she's gonna get it back.
Yeah, she's fine.
I'm like, I don't have time.
She has two mommies, but I have custody.
Yeah, she's like, I got custody battle. She's like,
Yeah, intensely the law is possession.
right?
Well, he's kind of grown on me. So
Yeah.
Oh, no, he used to be the younger dog. And so when you come, he would, you know, and he had his bed under there, and you know, he would greet everyone, and then whenever it was time for class, you know, he'd go lay down, and then he would wait, but as soon as I said namaste, he was like right in my face. And he was like going around and loving on everyone. It was so funny.
He's so smart.
In the videos, like, he'd walk past everyone's mat, like, good job, good job, good job. It was so funny. It looked like that's what he was doing. He was like, good job, good job. He was the cutest. He's just so high strung, though.
You got that right.
Sorry to run off.
Oh, no. And it's just more just to kind of answer any questions that you guys had, and just like kind of go over this and then the book and stuff like that. If you guys want to take a look at the book, and then
If you get a book, if you get those in early, send me a text.
yeah, I will. Okay.
I always like to kind of
Yeah, you guys both have one already? Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and then yeah, I should get them. What is today? So I should get them like 23rd, 24th.
Do it.
But
Check it.
do you want to take this
You got
one?
accountability part.
I've got